Here's the monument to the completion of the PCT. Just a stone thing with a little brass plate on top. Completed June 5, 1993. At the time, it was 2,638 miles. Now they've decided it's 50. And actually it changes every year based upon reroutes and things, and they've just apparently stuck with the 2650 over the years, just because it makes more sense to have one number than change every year if they have to reroute something for whatever reason. Well, we're coming out of Acton and working our way towards Aquaduce, something like that. I probably pronounced it wrong. And we're going to have to go across. Actually, we're going to go under, I believe it's California 14. It's a pretty busy freeway to get there. Anyway, and then before we get there, though, we're going to go to Vasquez Rocks. And I'm sure all you Star Trek fans might recognize that, along with a lot of other TV and movies, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Well, here's the tunnel under the freeway, so we don't have to cross a busy 4-lane highway. And luckily we're doing this during the dry season, so there's not much water. If you're not familiar with Vasquez Rocks, it's a popular filming location for movies, TV shows, music videos, you name it. Some of the Star Trek, both movies and TV series, were filmed here. Bonanza, Dragnet, Zorro, I mean, the list is endless. In fact, some people have suggested that Vasquez Rocks should probably have a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, because it's probably been used more than some actors have been used for movies. So it's a popular place since it's close to LA to do filming. It's Wednesday morning. Spent last night in Aquaduce. Unfortunately, the grocery store there had closed, so there wasn't a lot of resupply options. Couple things at the liquor store, a couple at the hardware store, but that was about it. So we're probably going to have to hit the little next town that we were going to skip to do some resupply. But just climbed out of the town up on this hill, and now we're looking in this little valley, kind of nice looking, and moving on. The next big town's going to be probably 5 to 7 days. Like I say, we got to resupply in a little town first, so we'll worry about that when we get there. We've been going through this overgrown trail like this for maybe a mile, and it's going to continue a while. It looks like it goes there, it goes around that hill, and then it goes up onto that hill, and it looks like we got the same vegetation the whole way until it gets up there, and we'll see what happens up there. But yeah, this is frustrating and dull and boring on this trail. You can't sit down and rest anywhere. You got to watch carefully to what you might be stepping on, because there's no way to see if there's a snake sticking out until it's a little late. So what fun. And it's pretty close to the edge on both sides, so you can't go up very much, and you certainly don't want to go down. You'll be rolling down the hill. So, well, some people may be wondering how tall is the grass. Well, there's the grass. there's I am, and there's the ground. And I'm not on my knees, I'm on my feet. So yes, it does get kind of tall in here and kind of narrow. Well, good morning. It's Thursday. Just took off from my camp from last night. Hoping to get to a small market today to get some resupply on the long trek into Hikertown and Tehachapi. We'll see. Several days there, probably 4 to 6. It depends on the terrain and the weather. Chance of getting some rain tonight around 7 to midnight. It's only about a 16% chance, but I'm going to keep my eye on the weather, and I may make sure I'm set up in camp before then. On average, it takes about an hour to get camp set up, have dinner, and get ready to shut everything down. So I want to make sure I have that extra hour in case it looks like it's going to rain tonight. Anyway, just an update. Kind of going through this, I guess you call it scrub brush, I don't know. It's not very tall. Didn't give me a lot of wind protection last night from the wind. It was pretty windy. I had every tie down I had in my tent tied down, and it still rattled like heck. It was hard to sleep. So I got a later start this morning because I was tired. Couldn't sleep last night. Well, down there in that valley is a town called Green Valley, and I spent the night at the Green Valley Fire Station, about 1.5 miles from Green Valley, and then I went into town this morning to get some supplies, some food for the next several days. And now we're climbing out of the valley up to the top of another hill. Here's the trail, and I'm pretty sure it goes right there at that spot. And then what happens on the other side probably is more uphills. That's the way it always works. Well, it's going to be a cool, cold day. We got a fog bank moving in, I guess. I don't know if the camera shows that. I assume it does. It's coming in pretty thick. So I'm able to tell what the trail looks like ahead pretty soon. Just after relying on what I can feel with my feet. Anyway, it'll be cool today until this burns off. Well, now there's a blowdown. We can at least go into that one. I wouldn't want to do this in a windstorm. That's not holding very well. And we are going to have to duck to get through. But we made it. Power of wind. As it warms up, some of those other little streams you've seen start to dry up and turn into something like this. And it's late this year because of all the rain and snow they've had down here. But this starts becoming the problem with water carries when you don't have streams to collect water from. Trail magic along the trail. Thank you.
Oh, have a safe journey.
Well, that's the kind of trail magic that's unexpected and very pleasant. There's actually 2 Canadian moms whose boys are hiking the PCT and should be crossing that road in about 2 hours, maybe 3. So they've been kind of jumping ahead. They're down here for 5 days. They've been kind of jumping ahead of their boys and doing trail magic for the other hikers. So they had water, beer, and cookies. So I had a Bud Light and some Oreos. That was great. Anyway, That's what trail magic's all about. And getting started today. Still got about 30 miles to Hikertown, so 2 or 3 days, we'll see how it goes. Probably 3, 2.5, whatever. Foggy this morning again. Sun's trying to break through though. I think it will pretty quick, so it'll warm up. But anyway, that's the start of today. And that's where we're going. I don't know either. It's all foggy. We'll see you down the trail. Coming through the burn forest. Over several videos, I've showed you flowers that we run across on the PCT, but there's one that we certainly want to avoid. It's got a purple flower, and it's called Poodle Dog bush. This is Poodle Dog bush. And that. And that. And that. So coming out of the burn area, but we're not out of it. Those were the taller trees, but out in here we still see burn for a large area. I think this was a couple years ago, I'm not sure. But here's our friend, Poodle Dog bush. Everywhere we look, there's Poodle Dog bush. So we gotta watch where we're going. Here the Poodle Dog bush covers both sides of the trail, and you gotta be careful not to brush up against it. Its reaction is much like poison oak. It's an irritant, and it'll cause severe rashes and pain. I'll put a link to in the description to more information if you want to learn more about Poodle Dog bush. But it is a real pain, literally. Well, I just had a pleasant surprise. In one of the previous videos, I mentioned to you that one of the mid-60-year-olds I was hiking with was going to get off trail and take a Amtrak back to Vancouver, Washington, where he lived. Well, he did that. And he actually was home for a few birthdays and a graduation, and then he got antsy. So he went out and hiked 70 miles on the Oregon Coast Trail to realize he could do this. He just had a bad day here when he quit. I just ran into him. He came down to Tehachapi. He's hiking south to where he jumped off the trail, and then he'll come back to Tehachapi and continue. So we spent a few minutes catching up. Exchange phone numbers so we can keep in touch. Nice guy. I'm glad to see he's back on trail and he's enjoying it. So that was a pleasant thing this morning to have a conversation with him. Anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. That was a nice moment.